Hey YouTube, it's Tams, the Wicked Witch. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and remember to give us a like. It really helps the channel and it helps me see what people like watching, so that's really cool. So I hope you're all well today. Happy solstice weekend, happy Leafer, and it's a shame the sun's not out here in Essex. It's actually quite chilly, but it's not raining, so that's something. So as you can tell by the title of the video that I'm doing today, firstly it's also going to be in two parts, so we don't go over the 9 minutes because I can't get the downloading to happen, and I may jabber on with this. You can tell by the title it's called Spells and how they work. Probably one of the biggest questions people say is, well, how does a spell work? Does a magic spell actually work? You know, how does it work? And I think if you speak to any witch, whether they're a Wiccan witch, just a pagan witch, any kind of witch or magical practitioner, they will tell you they're not 100% sure exactly how they work, but they have this idea. They have this idea of how they perceive it to work, how they think it works. And I am exactly the same with that. You know, I can't be 100% sure. But let me tell you, they do work. So let's just look at the word spell. So magic spells, okay? So magic with a K, not magic with a C. Magic, M-A-G-I-C, that's parlour tricks, that's pulling the rabbit out of the hat, flowers out the sleeve. That's not the same thing as magic, which is magic with a K on the end, C-K. That's magic as in magic in the occult, that's witchcraft, that's witches' magic, that's occultism, magical practitioners. It's a different magic. And in that magic you have spells. In the same area you would have incantations, you would have enchantments, the word charms, the word spells, the word manifesting, the word power thoughts. Yes, they all come around the same thing, but magic spells are from you put out into the universe. Your energy and your intent is put out into the universe via words. Now, yes, some people may argue and say you don't actually have to say anything out loud. You could write something down, it could be said in your head in the way of a spell. And yeah, that's true, but it's still words, yeah? So let's look at the word spell, okay? It's a Germanic word. The word spell is a Germanic word, and I actually do believe, and I have made the notes quickly in case I spell something wrong, spell. It's a Germanic word and it's spellen, which is S-P-E-L-L-A-N, and it means to tell, okay? In Old English, it's spellian, so it's S-P-E-L-L-I-A-N, which was then shortened to spell, to talk, to gossip, to tell, to, you know, to narrate like a story, to write down, to spell. That's why we have spellings, because you're writing a word. And this is where the word comes from. And people may beg to differ on this, and that's fine, but this is my take on it, remember. I believe that the reason it's come about with the whole witches cast spells and how that has come about and why we use that word is because going back to those old times and how we, you know, where that word actually comes from, it's exactly the same. You know, when you cast a spell, yeah, you pump the words out into the universe to create what you want to happen. Your intent, your energy goes into the form of words out, either in a little rhyme or a little chant, or, you know, or a little song, or it's just shouted out, or it's in your mind, or it's written down, but it's still words and they're spelt. And it's the same thing, isn't it? It's spelt, it goes out. So you put your intent into something, okay? So whether it's a spell for addiction, or whether it's a spell to increase money flow, or whether it's a spell to lose weight, or whether it's a spell for work or to go to court, or whatever it's for, it's your intent going into creating that spell, which goes out to the universe, and it's the energy. If you concentrate on something, you concentrate on being good at something, and you pump all of your energy into it, 99% you're going to be very good at it. Yeah, you might do it for years, but you're going to be very good at it because you pumped everything you've got into it, and that is the same as a spell, you know. So in the old days, when witches would cast spells for people, you know, the wise woman of the village, or the wise man would do spells and protection things and healing and stuff like that. They wouldn't have all of the tools that we have now, and fancy statues and fancy crystals and wands. They would probably have a heap of animal bones in a bag, a bit like a bag of runes, which they would fiddle around with and throw at all different angles. It was all very different. Nowadays everything's got something. We've got pots for this and pots for that, and books for this, and wands and a farm maze, and we got this cauldron and this, and they just didn't have that. And it just goes to show really that you can cast spells with just words, and you know, and a heap of leaves or an old stick as a wand. You don't actually need to have stuff. It's from inside. It's what comes from inside you. It's the power and the energy you've raised, and your belief and your intent in creating and manifesting this to happen and putting it out into the universe. So we can do many things, you know, with power thoughts. Power thoughts are kind of a form of a spell, because we think and we think and we think and we put out that thought. We're just not casting a circle and getting all our fancy bits out and actually writing it all out and having this, you know, it's just a power thought and out it goes. And in a way it's kind of the same as a spell, without all of the bits, without all of the, you know, without using all of the tools, or adding crystals or adding herbs. And sometimes power thoughts are just as effective, you know. So yeah, it does slightly differ from spells and how we do that. We cast a circle, we use tools, we use herbs, we have things written down, we have chants, we have different moons that we do it on for different things for the topic of the spell. You know, we have different colours and candles and all this stuff, and at the end of the day all of that builds up to this great big energy of bang, it goes out to the universe, and that's our energy going out, and that creates the spell to happen. And sometimes spells take longer than others, and sometimes spells are really fast. They work really fast, and sometimes they don't work, and you get annoyed and you think, oh, I've not done it right. But it's not that. It's just things take longer than others, and sometimes there's a reason. There's always a reason with everything, and I find in witchcraft there's a lot of science in witchcraft as well, I feel. With witchcraft there's always a reason, and you don't always know that reason. You don't always know that reason until later on, once it's all completed, and then you go, I know now why that didn't work in the first month. There's always a reason, you know, and I love that. It's quite unpredictable sometimes, and I do really love that. So yeah, it's we're coming around to 9 minutes. So at 9 minutes I'm going to cut off and do a part 2, because I know this won't download. So yeah, we're talking about spells. Come back to part 2, and we're going to talk a little bit more and about the things you can do and that for casting and stuff like that. Come back to us in a sec. Thanks for watching.